Squatters, as you know, dropping another one, chop is going. Quick, I've been thinking about this, how to actually put it to you. I want to put something that we need to engage on, and maybe you can clarify that for me so that I understand. Otherwise, I hope you grant it. Here's my question. Should political parties account when they make critical decisions in their parties to the voters? If MK fires Floyd or demotes Floyd as the SG and appoints someone else on his position, should they go out in public to account, to explain why they made major changes? Should the EFF explain to its voters why they sidelined Mbuyiseni Ndlozi? As normal citizens, we watch from a distance and we can analyze ukuthi, no man, there's something that's not right, and this could be the possibilities. But we are always on assumptions. Should political parties account to their voters when they make major changes, when they appoint or they fire certain members of the political party? Because if you go to MK, they say Kwaza Mkondo, right? Kwaza Mkondo, and they change someone, they put someone, you still have to continue to say Kwaza Mkondo without even understanding why this particular person has been removed from the party. You still have to continue as a voter of maybe the EFF to continue to vote for the EFF, even though you don't understand what exactly happened between CIC Julius Malema and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Let's say, for argument's sake, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi jumps the ship because actually, eventually, he's about to. Because aksekho mnandi ngara. Should we get an official explanation, probably as citizens, more to be specific, as voters, people who are voting for EFF, should they get that explanation? If it's MK, should Ubaba Mtolo explain to voters, as voters, no, we made these changes because of 1, 2, 3. Even in the ANC, because now I don't see a relationship between the provincial secretary of KZN, Bheki Mtolo, and Fikile Mbalula continuing. I think they are about to fire him or to demote him or something. But if they touch him, they are touching the masses. They are at a very high risk of losing everything in KZN. So now the argument is, should they really explain to the voters, the political parties, or should they just make the changes and people who are the voters of that particular party should just continue singing the struggle songs and continue blindly following without even understanding what others? Should there be some sort of explanation when there are squabbles inside the political party? So if ever there should be some sort of explanation, would that not expose the confidentiality of the political party? Would that not expose that particular political party to its opponents? Because if you explain to the public, also your opponents will be listening and they'll be able to develop a strategy with you. Okay, this is what is dividing them. Then let's come this way, strategize and try to knock them down. I'm not really sure if they should explain or they should just, we as voters, we can sleep, and tomorrow, maybe if you are supporting ANC, you sleep today knowing what Deputy President Paul Mashatile, then tomorrow you find that no, it's someone else, and there's no explanation. Exactly the same way as when Ndlozi was still a president. He would reshuffle the cabinet without even proper explanation, without even consulting his own comrades. I don't know if that decision he used to take alone or with the Guptas or what was exactly happening, but he really caused chaos in his leadership based on that particular fact. You reshuffle the cabinet without consulting anyone. Shouldn't there be some sort of consultations? I want to change the structure, I want to do this, at least for your comrades to be able to have comments and to be able to have supplementary suggestions. No, this is what we think. Or would there be some sort of issues of maybe faction that might develop faction, in a sense that others will say no, don't fire this person, or don't reshuffle this person. Others will say no, reshuffle this person. I want to understand that, because sometimes as voters, if you follow a party and they make critical decisions, they make major changes, and there's no explanation, no one is actually explaining to you. And I'm worried about victimization, because it means if they don't have to explain anything to anyone, they can victimize people from within the party. You get what I'm saying? That if the CIC doesn't like this particular person, he can just remove him without even consulting, without even explaining or having to explain anything to anyone. It's a very tricky one, but the voters, I believe, in some way, they do have a right to know if there are changes in the political party that they are following, they are voting for, and they are hoping with that particular party is the one that will liberate them, will deliver them to the promised land. Okay, I will just leave that just for a little bit. Now, if you look at these political parties, all of them are facing the same challenge, because they are not self-sustainable. They can't sustain themselves alone. If you look at party funding, you will see that the very same people who fund these parties, they control these political parties. And somehow, some of these decisions might come from their handlers. I like calling them handlers, because somebody who feeds you is your handler. They control you. They can tell you what to do, and you'll have to be subjected to that suggestion or that particular instruction. You need to fulfill it. If you don't fulfill it, then they can close the tab. Then you will struggle, because no political party can survive without funding. And politics, you won't understand. Lot of money. So all of them are captured in a way, because if ever they don't do what their capturers are telling them to do, it's over. The relationship is over. Like I said to Uti, no political party is self-sustainable on its own. They are relying on the funders. So whoever becomes a president from whichever the party, the status quo will continue. The only solution for this problem is to have a non-politician, somebody who doesn't owe anyone anything. Because if you take let's say now, MKP wins the outright majority and they get into government. They owe their sponsors, their funders, they owe them return favors. You get what I'm saying? They'll have to start by paying the debt. And it can take 5 years or even more than 5 years. If EFF wins the outright majority by any chance, for argument's sake, Mazoti must get his money back. Mazoti will come and say, hey Julius, I helped you to open this party. I funded you and all of that. And we don't know even until now. Maybe he's still funding them. Probably so. Because funding is just unlimited. You just fund. Hoping one day this person will be in government and you'll get tenders and everything, or all the favors that you might need. So, for political parties to say this person must be a president, this person must be Gafan, because according to me, these people, they are heavily indebted to their funders. There's no one who can come and give you 2 million and they don't want it back. Even if they don't want it back at that particular time, even they don't say you owe me, but when you are in power, you know that you owe them favors back. And so it will help you to start repaying, pay back that favor, return that favor. And if you don't return that favor, and then it becomes a problem to them. It means now the war had started because you did not fulfill what you actually agreed upon. I cannot fund you if I'm a funder. I can't fund you without asking for a favor in return. There's nothing for Mahan. There's absolutely nothing for Mahan. So these political parties, any can win election, can appoint anyone, as long as we have presidents who are from political parties, who are affiliated with certain political parties, we will always experience the same problems. Even if ANC goes out, MK come in, or DA come in. DA also is funded also. DA has got handlers also. You know, there are business people who are funding DA big time. And so if it gets into government, they have to return that favor. They don't have a choice. So what exactly should be done? Should the political parties disclose their decisions behind changing of leadership and all of that? Should they really explain to the voters, especially people who are voting for them? Others, people who are voting for them, who believes in them, like the voters, the actual voters. Should they really have some sort of media briefing and explain what for us to remove this person is because of 1, 2, 3 scandal allegation, what this person is suspended and is subjected to attend the hearing and whatever. Or should they just reshuffle, change people, do whatever they want to do? They don't have to explain to anyone. Which one should be done actually? Because sometimes it might be confusing to the voters. And like I said, for as long as we have politicians who becomes presidents from political parties themselves, they are not self-sustainable. They owe people, they owe people a lot of money. A rally can cost 20 million, a rally. They need funding for that. Or Telatupa or what, they need funding for that Telatupa. And so who's funding them? Who's giving them money? The very same person who's giving them money, we told a guy, Nale tap ya meat, ya ubulela chelet, and then chelet kali di packet, the million and then I go EFF. Arailo not selang tupa ko Orlando Stadium. They need to pay to hire the venue and all of that. It's money. If we can randomly pick one person, I don't know if this thing makes sense. let's say, for argument's sake, we've got prominent people who are intelligent in our country, who are intelligent, who are well known, who are good, who are innovative, whom we believe ukuthi mawubhekile lo muntu lona can take a country forward. I don't want to mention names, by the way, but I do have people who are public figures whom we can propose and say, hey, bro, you need to be our president. Come. You are not politically affiliated. You are not captured, because politicians are captured. It's a fact. So the very same people who captures them, when they become president, they forget about you and they think about those people who have captured them. So what should be done? Should the political parties disclose, or this is what we did because of this, or they should just make the changes whenever it suits them? Floyd can just be fired from his position as the SG in MKP, or Mbuyiseni Ndlozi can just leave or be expelled. Bheki Mtolo can be suspended. Jacob Zuma can be expelled. Musi Maimane can just be removed without proper explanation. What happened? Why? Because if it's a case of, let's say for argument's sake, DA, Musi Maimane was removed because the polls, he performed poor. Why John Steenhuisen? It declined, but still he's there. Why? So it doesn't make sense. I'll hear from you, Squad Asuti. What do you think? Should they really disclose every decision they make, especially leadership decisions, critical decisions, or they should just make the changes whenever it suits them? Thank you, South Africa. Sebo.